Hey, it's Rachel. Today I'm discussing Kung Fu Season 2, Episode 12. So the episode starts with Curran confronting his father. I was shocked that Russell did, in fact, tell Kerwin that Juliet was dead. Like, I really expected him to come up with some elaborate lie as to why she disappeared. And I was even more shocked that he acknowledged that her death was his fault, even though he was insinuating that it was his fault for not protecting her from Mia, because I was confident he was going to skirt the responsibility given his whole victim blamey speech he gave to Juliet before he killed her. While Russell is trying to convince Kerwin to join him, Team Nikki is in a rush to try to figure out how they're going to stop him since Russell has everything he needs to ring the bell. Nikki, in a moment of panic, basically, has a vision of Paling, who suggests that she should accept Jalan's help. So I'm kind of annoyed that Nikki needed this vision to even be willing to work with Jalan. Because, like, one, the season has repeatedly proven to Nikki that she needs to accept other people's help. Two, the previous episode literally proved that Jalan is on her side when it comes to Mia. Also, Jalan is the best bet at stopping Russell. Like, it's been her drive for years. She's the person who knows the most about him. She's the person with the best training to actually put any plan into action. Like, yes, Nikki, obviously you're going to need Jalan's help. You, on your own, are not going to be enough to defeat Russell, especially with your no killing rule, which, while it is admirable, is not helpful in this case. It's just going to make things harder. So while Team Nikki has been attempting to figure out Russell's location, we see that Evan has brought in Nadia to try to speed up the process. I'm glad Nadia is being let in on things, even though she clearly doesn't know much currently as they're on this time crunch. But it's nice to see Team Nikki growing. I love that there's no one who's important to the Shen family or their close allies that's left in the dark about everything. And then, since I'm on the topic of Nadia, when Nikki brought Jalan to the house and Nadia greeted her, I was in hysterics. She is such a sweetheart. Like, she did not pick up on all of that tension. And then Evan literally had to pull her away from Jalan when she was holding her hand out. Like, peak comedy. Hilarious. And then when she kissed Evan before leaving, incredible. I had a feeling things would probably go that route given how much time Evan and Nadia had been spending together throughout the season, especially time that they've been spending alone. But Evan's shocked response. Oh my gosh. I love their dynamic, even if it's just for the comedic aspect that we got in this episode. Like, they're adorable. Now, once Team Nikki has determined the probable location that Russell is at, we return to Kerwin, who's now desperately trying to save Mia. And to be honest, I've never really liked Kerwin. Like, I found him pretty boring last season. I feel like he's had so little screen time this season that there hasn't really been any scenes to make me change my mind. But when he was doing everything he could to save Mia, I started really liking him. And I love that he never believed Russell's lie, that he knew in his gut as soon as Russell told him Mia had killed Juliet that Russell was actually the one who'd done it, but that he pretended to believe him in an attempt to stop the plan as it's becoming set in motion pretty rapidly at this point. So, like I was saying in the review for the last episode, I wasn't surprised by Russell killing Juliet because I knew he'd choose self-preservation over anything else. And she was going to make his whole plan fall apart if he didn't stop her. But the fact that his plan was always reliant on him sacrificing one of his children, I'm ill. Russell is a sick person. Like, this is this is so disgusting. Like, he truly never gave a shit about any of his children in any way, and he just played mind games with them for years to force them to turn against each other in their desperation for his approval. And this whole plan was literally just so whoever impressed him the most, he was going to steal their life. Like, he's sick. He's sick. I cannot stand him. I I need him to die in the finale. But unfortunately, Russell successfully manages to complete the ceremony, and he's now in Kerwin's body. He manages to get to the bell and he starts to use the mallet while Nikki and Jalon are trapped in a room that he locked them in, and Henry and his father are in a room close by where they have a device that should theoretically nullify the effects of the bell. Of course, while Russell is ringing the bell, Henry and his father end up getting ambushed by some of Russell's men. And the machine gets destroyed, Henry's father gets shot. And, like, I know I've complained a little bit before about how it's exhausting that Nikki never gets to have a proper win for, like, the sake of the stakes to be so intense. But I'm feeling that way again. Like, Kerwin actually risks himself and does the right thing, and then he immediately dies. Or, I assume he's dead. I don't think it's going to be possible to reverse the ceremony that Russell did. And Henry and his dad make amends like 5 episodes ago, after like literally a decade of Henry building resentments against his father. And now his dad's probably dead. And like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he does make it, because Mia seemed to be in worse shape than Henry's father, and I feel like there's a good chance Mia's gonna survive. But given Henry holding his dad while he's unconscious and begging, "Stay with me," I feel like his chances of survival are very low. And it's just like, can these characters I love not just be relentlessly pummeled? I know the characters I love can't win 24/7 because then there's no stakes. But it feels like Nikki and her team rarely get meaningful wins, and then they keep getting such devastating losses. Like, can they please get a break? The episode then ends with Russell successfully ringing the bell and seemingly bringing the earthquake that Team Nikki has spent basically the entire season trying to prevent. So, given the promo for the finale, it seems like this is going to be kind of a similar idea to The Alchemist when Nikki entered Mia's dream. Only this time now, Nikki and Jalon are working together to enter this other world. So, as I kind of mentioned in one of the more recent reviews I've done on an episode, I really hope Jalon makes it out alive this season, given her romance with Kerwin seemingly being over for good, and her rage at seeing Mia almost dead. I wouldn't be surprised if she decided to sacrifice herself to ensure Russell's defeat. And especially with like how violent this episode got, like it would track for the finale to have a big death. So yeah, I'm pretty anxious to see how things turn out in the finale. But if you guys have any thoughts about the episode, please comment down below, because I'd love to keep chatting about this show. And I'll see you guys next week for the finale. Bye.